Most welcome to the voice of evolution and progress and moving ahead in 2021. I'm so happy to be here today, especially with a new announcement, and that is the publication of my new book that is going to change many, many lives if willing to read about it, because it will bring truth to the forefront. It will bring the reality of what is going on to the forefront of new experiences, because 2021 is there to lift each other together, to share experiences, and to be there in a unified field. So everything that has been held back from social media, the Google machine, from YouTube, regarding the ascension of the planet and its population, the most essential things are being written in my new book, Between the Moon and the Sun. So a story that played out between two individuals via Facebook, actually, social media, and willing to live a life beyond illusions, which is actually the spirit of this age, or the ascension movement, or the reality of moving beyond the tragedy of life that played out last year. It had to play out in order for us to wake up and to lift consciousness to where we belong, home, and creating home on the planet. So yeah, um, I must say, I think it's so important to share my experiences. Like or we met like two strangers in paradise via the like button, commenting and engaging with social media posts. And so I was thinking that entity was creating interesting posts, uploading philosophy, psychology, what was going on, like that started out in 2013, from many, many years. So, and I was thinking, let's just message that person and see what that one is really about. And so I just started to message that entity, and but little did I know that these messengers between us would move into a space of many, many hours a day, and a very long period or time of, or let's say, years of intense dialogue. So let's say a story between a bull, an Aries, and the horns of a Capricorn, which is me, that went into many, many deviations. And you can imagine that, we went into sleepless nights, and with conversations, breathing tender compassion, breathing authenticity, breathing presence, essentially, and genuine and concrete objects actually touching the hearts of many people today in 2021 as we rise together. So we actually were the four runners of ascension and discussing it. And so you can learn so much about what it takes, because all that information has been held back. So two bull-headed entities that are so realistic, intuitive, pragmatic, sensible, and very, very tough. I can tell you that. I mean, they are not only analytical, and persistent, but also can often be, let's say, that pendulum would oftentimes swing a conversation into a rough and very tough right? And in which words could easily zap any entities off track, but we didn't. So I must say that the story as it began and it unfolds further on via social media, via phone calls that are being recorded, via email messages recorded. There is a deep and profound conversation that opened up actually the elixir of how to move people out of the prison bar of present day reality and all the way up, moving into the phoenix of ascension we are actually all experiencing together, and new stuff, new truths, putting people into a shift in consciousness, not knowing actually how to deal with these shifts, right? We all experience that at times when the energies get very, very intense. So many people on Facebook and other social media platforms on the planet can easily actually relate to this story, as it explains how come so many people have been held back from their path in ascension, not knowing how to upgrade their energies and eliminate what needs to go, such as the old, such as fears, such as, so many relationships that went into oblivion. And so we all needed to clear out our spaces, which was hard for many. So in 2020, people started actually to wake up to a new level of truth. That is what it is truly about, and that is so important. And it's important to live an empowered and passionate life. So that has actually many purposes to it, which many are still trying to find. And so although I must say the story moves into many deep rainbows, neither he or me would ever impoverish a conversation, neither would we cut our temper down just to please anyone. It was just non-existent. So you can imagine Aries and Capricorn are about the strongest entities in the entire zodiac. But when they come together, oh dear, you better read again. But it was fun. It was so realistic. So we we were woken up since birth, actually. And so we were abused, we were mocked by people an entire life since childhood. And so that's an extremely long period of time, right? And but light always exposes truth, as I have many people from my childhood coming back right now, and they still say, you still that weirdo and that funky as you were, let's say about 6, 7 years old. So imagine my truth back then. So that is about more than 50 years ago. So anyway, so we are here to move people, to awaken them to another level of consciousness and truth. And so then we can override what actually plays out. So assisting the forgotten people, assisting youth, assisting children, the helpless one. And that is such a necessity, as we know so many people don't have gone homeless without jobs, and we don't even see 30% on social media or on Google because it has been held back. But we can imagine that we need to put out a helping hand to everybody today, and that is how the unification is going to come true, actually, which is the most important thing. So, let's say, moving out of the falseness of spiritual growth is really stressed in the book, because that falseness has hardly been talked about also, and so people got a lot of misdirection. So when it comes to purity and integrity, so let's say you will find definitely many answers in that book, because it will relate to you. You will find out about the eye of the divine. You will find out about the energy fields. You will find out how to move beyond fear. I mean, what it truly takes. And so these spiritual shoes that actually move into the path of healing, truth, empowerment. And so regarding spiritual science and the psychology that rises not only, you know, in the physics of the divine, because the entire cosmos and us as an entity on the earth plane all has, let's say, interfacing ley lines and connections, such as we know through communication, and which is the most important thing. So I thought bringing out that book and giving you the option to at least read about how deviated people can go, how stubbornness, resistances, and fears hold them back, how oftentimes how we think that we know something and we actually don't know a thing. Like, it's all upgrades. I mean, we're all in the same boat. And so, let's say that the story actually shoots in the air. And so, with another years of extreme, potent, and straightforward and very strong conversations in which neither of us would shut up, right? We would not. So it was beautiful. It was frustrating. It was exhausting. It was triggering my knowledge on all levels. Like, he would just question me inside out, like, am I going to break through this? But then again, it was so unique, so enticing, so beautiful. So it truly matches the vibration in which a large amount of people find themselves today, actually. So as we are awakening in the reality of what spirit is, and living a life with your direct connect to your spirit, your source, the cosmos, and many species. It's not only about us, it's the unification and those connections. So, and these communicative devices are going to matter a lot in the future, as I explain that in the book, how we can open that up. And I mean, it's everything is taking a deep charge in people's life and remaining in the pipe dream of their horns without any knowledge and beauty of living the origin of the energy fields is what is essentially going to crack people. So here, for those interested, I termed it Between the Moon and the Sun, because everything in between is actually that all the planets are important. It's all playing out. And so we need to realize how important every planet in the solar system, galactic system, and universal system is and how they influence our brain. So also I have a free PDF file in the description box for you to start out reading it if you want, and there's another link to my Amazon platform in which you can buy the book Between the Sun and the Moon, Enlightened Interlocution Between Two Entities. It means stillness speaks between preview, which is my name, and cosmos. So he was actually the entity who gave me that name, because I could see all the sceneries beforehand. And so it's like having a crystal ball in your hand, and you know, uh, talking futuristic, yet bringing everything into the know, which is the name of evolution. So thank you so much for being with me, subscribing, yeah, sharing my channel, my videos if you like them. Please go on my website, get your free PDF file, or see the links in the description box already. It is such an interesting book. You can obviously pass by that because it's going to assist you on every level, and it's also fun to read. And not only fun, you learn a lot as well about everything that is modern day ascension, and everything going on with a lot of links, and yeah, the deepness of what speech requires today. Okay, I see you next week. Thank you for being with me.